Hello there, good morning. It's a beautiful Monday to be alive. Good morning again and again. And thank you so much, every single person joining me, for giving me this share of your time. I never take it for granted. And for everyone that would watch this video, that would like it, that will share it, that will spread the word, I say a big thank you. God bless you. Again, it's Knox to Nuggets. And today I'm so excited because in this special edition of Knox to Nuggets, I have a guest in the house. Now, this week, Thursday precisely, is Children's Day here in Nigeria. I know I just thought about it, but I'm also a child. I'm somebody's child. So it should be public holiday for me again to say Children's Day. It's Children's Day. And children are just the focus for this week and next Monday too. Are children an endangered species? Somebody said to me recently, children grow old so fast today. And I'm like, really? Things have truly changed. And it's going to be a foolishness on our part to bury our heads in the sand and think nothing has changed. And do ki sera sera. No, it's not ki sera sera. Things have changed. And with me today is a dear friend and covenant sister, an accountant by profession. She's an alumni of Wharton Business School, Pennsylvania, and Business School, Netherlands. She's a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria and a member of the prestigious Institute of Directors. She has over 20 years experience in various finance and treasury roles. She is happily married to a heartthrob. She's a mother of 3 adorable and excellent children, role models even at their age. She enjoys teaching and influencing youth in the area of values and positive thinking. She currently worships, and this excites me, currently worships with the Redeemed Evangelical Mission Trem headquarters. And she is a teacher and still even in church enjoys teaching and influencing the teenagers. And she also has a program where she influences teenagers across secondary schools in Lagos State. She is clearly a qualified person to talk to us today on parenting. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome on the Knox to Nugget platform, Victory Olumuyiwa. Hello.
Good morning, man, and good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, wherever you're watching us from. That was a big one. I was wondering, would that be me?
It is you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for having me.
It's so awesome to have you. Thank you so much for accepting to come on this program. I know, like I said in introducing, Thursday is Children's Day, and today we are talking parenting. When I was growing up, it was so different. I mean, fathers then, once you hear the horn, the average child is running and looking for where to hide. Children today will welcome and say, good morning, daddy. How are you? How was your day? Why did you do this? And why did you do that? And a lot of us in my generation cannot handle it. How will a child question me and ask me why? And look at me straight in the eyes and say, daddy, yes, I love, I respect you, but why? So I will start off today. Thank God you are with me even next Monday. But today, let's start it off by talking about the challenges of parenthood. What has changed? What is the challenge that we are facing today as parents?
Thank you very much, ma'am. I will start with the best of parents, and then we will go into challenging. If you look at our Father God is the best of parents that can ever be. Irrespective of what you've done, what you are doing, or what you will do, He loves us unconditionally. So, what can we learn from Him? Those are the things we're going to be looking at in our course. Now, where we are today, you've seen that you said something very profound, that you see children wake up and then they say good morning dad. They no longer even say good morning dad. They say hi dad and they go back to their telephone and then they are pressing the phone. So what are the challenges of today? The first I will talk about is setting boundaries. The challenge of setting boundaries is very enormous and is very great. Now, when children are born, they are not born with set rules. From their birth centers, you do not see the nurse printing out the set rules of wrong and right to the children and saying these are the wrong paths to toe and these are the right paths to toe. If you know what happens, children within the household, parents within the household would now need to set rules of what is acceptable within this household and what is not acceptable within this household and within community. And in setting that, the fear and the challenge is there that a parent would say, I don't want to be the bad cop. So when the
Mm.
dad comes hard, the mom goes behind to say, don't mind your daddy. He's in a bad mood. He's just having a bad day. And what you are doing to that child is teaching the child to push limits, to push
Mm.
boundaries, and not
Mm.
to respect boundaries as it were. So you would see the challenge of how do I set boundaries for my child? And then you will also have the fear of being the bad cop. Or when they
Mm.
go to other families, they see, oh, how cute Sarah, I'm borrowing your word, ma'am.
Yeah.
Parents are. And then in our home, there are certain things that cannot be done in our home. So the child comes home, and the children of these days, the children of these days just come home and say, Dad, how come you are not like Mr. and Mrs. So and so? You are so
Mm.
wicked. You don't care about us. And so a lot of parents have a major challenge, and that is the kind of pressure we put on ourselves and our
Mm.
children as a result of our pride and ego.
Mm.
A deacon in church, there are certain ways you can behave. Oh, a
Mm.
child. Okay, so I will give you practical example. One day,
Yes, please.
so at the beginning of last year, my child during the pandemic, my son during the pandemic started growing hair, started keeping the hair. Aren't you going to the salon? No, ma'am. And then by April this year, he wanted to barb a particular style, and he showed me the style. I said, hey, oh, how can you barb this style? How will you go to church? And he said, Mommy, you and daddy are the deaconess and the deacon in church. I'm just a child. Can I expect something?
Mm.
That's it. And I would have just shot the child and said, okay, go back the hair. When he came home, he said, no, this hair is not good. I'm going right back. And I said, you use your money to cut it back. So that way you have made them to realize that this is a mistake and there are consequences to such mistakes. And
Wow.
then so we're talking about the fear, the pressure we put on our children. For example, oh, so many parents are not opening up on the challenges they are facing with their children because, oh no, I'm a pastor in church. If I open up to seek help concerning this particular challenge, they
Mm.
will look at me and say, I have not held my family in a very good way. So the other thing is the fear of peer pressure.
Mm.
I'm not sure what will happen to my child if I release my child. I'm one of those parents. I just want my children to be home with me, to be in the nest. And one day it struck me that these children are going to be leaving the nest. How will they cope? How
Mm.
will the first day I asked my child, can I have you go and buy something from the pharmaceutical store just 2 streets away? And he said, what if I'm kidnapped? I said, nobody is going to kidnap you. Nobody is going to kidnap you. And that was my fear. No, I want them around me. So when they're going out, I'd rather do those things for them. But one day they are going to leave the nest. So how will
Mm.
they cope? If we are raising children that will be emotionally resilient, at the
Mm.
end of the day, parenting is about ensuring that when they leave the nest, they are emotionally resilient. They're able to bounce back because challenges would come. So you
Mm.
have so I've talked about setting boundaries. I've talked about
Yeah.
the fear of saying no,
Yeah.
the fear of don't want to be the bad cop in the home, and then the
Yeah.
pressure we put on our kids, then the
Yeah.
overload of information. Reverend Ma'am, when you were growing up, parenting was physical. Your parents
Yes,
or whoever
ma'am.
was going to be parenting you would have to be physical with you. These
Yes,
days,
ma'am.
the amount and the quality of information on the internet, on
Mm.
their smartphone and their tablet is enormous that you can't even imagine what they have groups. They have WhatsApp groups. Oh, you've prevented them from having SIM. They've got other ways. Then in our days, you need to write letters, pen
Yes,
pal,
ma'am.
and then you post, and then it becomes after it comes the letter does not get there until after 2 weeks, and then you don't get a response. Today is just within seconds. So
Wow.
the overload of information out there is a lot of challenge to parenting. Oh, you're
Hmm.
teaching children this way, you're raising them this way. But the internet is saying that is bad parenting. And how do the children judge me as a parent when they go to those sites to read my parenting about my parenting style? What would be their judgment of me?
Hmm.
And then the other thing is the other challenge I've seen is the oversized sense of entitlement. How do
Hmm.
how do we raise our children? How do we raise our children in such a way that they do not have oversized sense of entitlement?
Hmm.
Then, as parents as well, how do I ensure that I relate with my children in such a way that I do not have oversized sense of entitlement? A lot of parents these days are shocked. I'll give you a practical example. I've got a family friend, and then the dad was going to pay for year one. I mean, 100 level. The chap just got admission into the university, and then they were going, and it was a lot of money the dad was paying. And then the dad looked at him and said, "Hey, mister, I'm spending so much money on your education so that when you become a director and I need your car and I call your driver is going to just come at my beck and call." And the boy looked at him and said, "That there's something called Uber." The father could not talk again. And then the father said, okay, so the father could not talk. And then when they were coming back, all through the journey, it was a silent journey. He swore to a note of silence all through. And by the time he was coming back, he said, "Oh, okay, that's the child's name." He said, you know what? You and your sister are the only children we've got. When we are old and then what happens to our house, the mansion I built?" He said, "Who wants to live in a house that is not smart?" That
Hello.
is That is that was shocking. And then he got home and he's a man of God, he's a pastor, and he got home and he called me and said, "Victory, I have a challenge. I think I have an oversized sense of entitlement.
Hmm.
I need to address it now. What happens to me in old age? I need to start talking to myself. How do I walk around it? How do I ensure that I know what my expectations should be about my children?" And then the last one I'm going to be talking about is the quality and the right education for the children. In
Hmm.
these days and time, I'll start from Nigeria and I'll go to the world. In these days and time, a lot of parents are challenged with how do I ensure that my child gets the right level of education that would put them at the level I want them to be in the environment. How do
Hmm.
I ensure? How do I ensure that I get them into the right school that have the right level and standards of education that does not conflict with my parenting style? How do I ensure that when I take them to that school, they're not going to be their values? Because each family, like for example, I'll just share from my family. We have core values and we have a mission and vision statement. And it
Hmm.
is very pasted, and they know what the core value of the family is. In fact, we've got an acronym for the core values of the family. And then when you are being queried about your set of behaviors, does it fall in line with this core value of our family? And then you judge yourself and then you appraise yourself and then you know that, oh no, I didn't do well in this. And so each family, as you begin to carve out the niche and the core value for yourself, you know that your children would also look at it. So the challenges is this, the challenges are there. How do we address those challenges? And how do we work around them?
Hmm.
To be honest with you, we've got the challenges, and a lot of us are not right into it. I remember when my mom was raising us, an Ijesha woman, if she tells you go there, you just go. If you don't want her slippers to land on you before you get there, so you just go. In fact, what's the name of this slippers she used? Score. She had this sword that was like a weapon of mass destruction. Before you say, hey, my mom had thrown the skull at you, and then you will just reset. And Bara was the best in town. You know, she does it from the two sides, 2.0 version. But these days, you can't raise children that way because they are built to question. So how do
Mm.
we ensure that setting boundaries, the boundaries we're setting, the set of rules of what is acceptable in this house and what is not acceptable in this house are adhered to? So those are the challenges, ma'am.
Wow. 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 When as you were talking, my head was spinning different scenarios, and I'm like, wow, this is true. This is huge. But something you said at the beginning kept resonating in my mind. Nobody gave us the manual to raise these children. So they came, and every child is different. The fact that you have raised Yomi in this way does not mean you can raise Yemi in this way. Even Siamese twins, the moment you separate them, they're so individual, you cannot raise them the same way. The challenges are huge. And unfortunately, most parents are so conscious of their status. They don't want people to know the challenges they are going through. And then we put that pressure on the children. Please, you're the child of pastor this, you're the child of reverend this, you're the child of deacon this, you're a child of CEO this, you're a child of MD this. So you must comport yourself. We expect them to be perfect children from birth. We are the ones actually removing their childhood from them. We want them to just be that perfect, prim, and proper child from the moment they are born. Huge challenges. Now, let me ask you this. In the midst of all of these challenges, is it possible to raise godly children?
Thank you very much, ma'am. Absolutely. The first thing we need to understand is this. Like I will relate how children are born. And then I will now reverse, I'll rewind to where we were before these children came. These children are not like our handheld device, that when you're buying them off the rack, they come with their manual.
Mm.
And so, how did I get married? At the point when I was getting married and I was going to be attending the marriage council, don't forget that I already have divided attention. I'm planning a wedding.
Mm.
So
Mm.
chances are that whatever I was being taught at that time, I had only 30 or 40 or 50% of my attention in that class.
Wow.
Because I've got a vendor that is running after me that I'm trying to book for venue, and the vendors are saying, oh, there's a price increase, there is this challenge. So I've got divided attention most of the time. Marital classes, the counseling sessions are attended with divided attention. So your
Mm.
parents do not sit you down to tell you, when you are going to have children, this is how it is. How
Mm.
do we raise godly children in this environment? I will shock you with one thing that happened. My daughter walked up to me and then asked me a question that almost blew me off. And he said, Mommy, you said God is a forgiving God. I said, absolutely. Yes, He is. He said, so when we beg Him, He forgives. I said, yes, He does. He said, okay, I'm going to go to God and beg God on behalf of the devil to just forgive us and return this earth to pre-Adamic, so that there is no evil in this world. So, and I had never thought of that in my life. I just take God as God and the devil as devil. And he said, I'm going to gather a few friends of mine,
Mm.
go to God and beg God on behalf of the devil and say the devil is sorry, so that we can have a good life. You can see how their minds are wired in this age. So it is possible to raise godly children if we connect with them.
Mm.
How do we connect with our children? I love your illustration, even CMS twins. At the point when they are separated, even before, even
Even
co-joined,
before. Yeah.
even before, they are of different personality. The
True.
first thing is that you cannot correct me without connecting to me.
Mm.
And that is the valid point. Now, to connect with our children, we need a lot of emotional intelligence. There is a daughter of mine who would look me in the face and say, Mom, you're hurting my feeling. And there is another that would say, Mommy, please don't say that again, please. That is so mean. So I'm talking about two children raised under the same home. And
Yeah.
so, how do we connect with them? You need to understand the love language of your children. For some children, it is spending time with them. There is just a child of mine that once I say, "Hi, babe, are you good?" And then she's fine. That's connection. There is another that we will cycle together, we will swim together, we will talk together. I will give her a lot of massage, help her to rub her legs. Then that is connection to her. For some, it is word of affirmation. Oh, you did that so well. Okay, so we're all taking swimming lessons, and then I'm talking about one that would tell the coach, my mom had not clapped for me, so I'm not doing well. So I have to be there clapping and hailing all the way. Hey, go babe, go babe, go babe. And that is it. So time, what is the love language of your child? A lot
Mm.
of us have learned the love language of our husbands, but have not learned the love language of our child. Now, they don't come with those manuals. We need to discover. We need to see what makes them sick, what makes their eyes pop like puppies, what makes them, oh, this is the best parent that has ever happened since sliced bread was discovered. Is it acting
Mm.
parents? Is it giving of gifts? Is it by way of touch? Oh, there is this. There are some children, they just love to be hugged. They love to be pets on the head and then massage them, help them to give them back rub. Oh, you've done so well today. How do I
Mm.
connect to them? Then, secondly, you can't raise children without understanding the challenges they are going through. The godly children, at the end of the day, is about finding the purpose of God for their life and towing that path. But
Mm.
if you do not understand the challenges they are going through, how do I ensure that I work with them? The first thing to do is to ask the person that's got their manual that can give me the soft copy of their manual, because I can't have access. It's not in the days of, oh, downloading, Moses was the first person to download tablets from God. It's not in those days. So we download soft copies. God, how do I connect with this child?
Mm.
Some children are deeper, because in the place of relating with children, the first thing we do is they write anonymous letters to us about the family, what the challenges are, and you will be surprised and shocked that some children are deeper than you think,
Mm.
deeper in their capability and their thought level. They are so deep that when you do, they've read interpretation to the you've done. They look at the environment, and that is how we can get it. Asking God, you have the manual for this child. How do I connect to be able to raise this child? And then I need to put myself, I need to empathize with them. If you go to Google today, the first thing that happens is once you say auto, the next thing Google helps you to feel. And the mind of the children, the mind of our children are very, very inquisitive. And you
Mm.
can't imagine. I know a parent that told me that there was an assignment. Of course, they have to go online to get the answers to their assignment. And then as the child was typing how to, Google filled it up to have sex.
Mm. Mm.
And
Mm.
he clicked on it and came to the parent and said, I wasn't the one, it was Google that filled it in. And the
Mm.
mother was, when you said scared,
Petrified. Mm.
petrified with call. I said, Vicky, what can I do? And I said, you know what? This is the real fact. You can take it away from them. This is what will happen. So, how do we secure our children? How do we safeguard them? How do we tow them in the path of righteousness? There is a principle that I really, really look at, and that is a principle that Jacob used, putting the stripes before the animals.
Animal.
Putting the stripes. What do we put before them? Do
Mm.
we say one thing and then act another way in the house? Oh, do we disconnect from them on the road to church? And then when we are just about getting to church, we knock their head and say, behave yourself, and then I rearrange your face, you're squeezing your face because I spoke to you harshly. There's a lot of parents, a lot of parents do that. Oh, they are coming for events, and then on the way to the event, they've had rough time with their children, and 5 minutes to the event because it's about parenting, like, oh, mom and daughter event. and then it's about parenting. So you need your child to be in good behavior. 5 minutes to the event, you say rearrange your face. What's the meaning of that? Rearrange your face. That does not work. You've only addressed that event. How do
Mm.
we address the child? How do we address the child? Are you one thing at home and another in the house? Now we're going to be looking at parenting styles. And I don't know if we have the time. Maybe we'll push it to
We'll,
next
we
week.
will push it to next week.
Awesome.
It's wow. I mean, my head is just like going. Even me, I'm going to come back and watch this again and again and again. So much have been said today. Victory, thank you so much. I have to pause here. We agreed on 20 minutes, we're on 25, going to 30. So I know that it's a huge topic on our hands. And it's something that is touching the core of every single person, even those who are not yet parents. Because the truth is this, it's not only biological parents that are raising children. All of us around young people, around children, are contributing a quota in raising those children. So it's huge and it's something we're going to explore. I'm only hoping we won't have to do a 3.0 of this. Next week, Monday, we are doing 2.0. And another thing that's exciting to me, I'll talk about parenting, listening to you, a mother, is that in June, Praise for Where will be in the house.
Awesome.
And I want to hear him as well as a father who is also doing so much in this space, talking to us about raising children. What you said as you concluded is huge. What are you putting in front of your children? I know many of us take things for granted. We expect them to know. We expect them to do it right. If we are not teaching them and we expect it, that means we also know that somebody else is teaching them, somebody else is showing them, somebody else is putting something else in front of them. Parenting is huge. And next week, Monday, 7:45, we'll be taking it from here on the various parenting styles, the various parenting styles that are available today, and what we need to do. If we have done it wrong, we can still correct it. There's still room to amend. It's never too late to start again. Thank you so much. And I'm joining a host of others to say thank you so much, Victory, for this amazing time out with you. Thank you so much. We'll see you again next week, Monday. And I hope then we'll be able to tidy this up. If not, sometime we'll do a 3.0. Have an amazing working week. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yes. So that's Victory Olumuyiwa today. And it's so much, she said so much in such a short time. And next week, Monday, I'm so excited. She's going to come back and to start talking about the various parenting styles. And we'll have opportunity to take questions. So if you have questions, just put it in the comment. We will trust God to help us to take those questions on. And if need be, like I said, I should be happy to do it. There'll be a 3.0. But don't forget, like I said to you, in June, Praise for Where 2 will be in the house. Let's looking at all of this together. How do we raise children that we will be so proud of? So that's it for today on Knox to Nuggets. Everyone on the call, thank you so much. For those that will join later, thank you so much. Like I always say, like the video, share it, pass your comments. Let me have your feedback. It always helps. Until I come your way next week, Monday, again at 7:45. Don't ever forget it. Together we win. God bless you.